Thank you for listening to SSB Wannabes. Make sure you keep up to date by following us on Twitter at SSB_Wannabes with one E. Sometimes our schedule gets the best of us and we can't record when we want to, so keep your eyes on Twitter and you'll always know when the new episode is up. Anyway, enjoy the show.
Big chillin' at the SSB Wannabes.
All right.
Recording.
Oh, you've been recording. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right. Yeah. So as we were saying, we had my birthday party last night.
Yeah. So I'm surprisingly alive. And those Jello shots, we had how many? Like 50.
We had a lot of Jello shots.
Your buddy's crazy.
A-Pop?
Yeah.
Yeah, A-Pop's crazy. He's a ride or die, and he's such an instigator.
Yeah. Well, making Jello shots is an instigation.
Yeah. But you see people will open the door and he'd require them to have a Jello shot upon entrance.
The first thing he had was a thing of Everclear in his hands. It was the first thing I saw when I walked in, and I'm like, this guy gets it.
This guy gets it, yeah.
It is 3 p.m. This guy gets it.
Yeah.
So that was fun. We also got a really good session in on Melee. We talked about this off the podcast.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about it more.
Yeah, let's rehash it.
So we started playing.
Yeah.
Long story short, well, you beat me 13 times in a row.
I didn't even know it was 13.
It was a lot.
Did you count, or is that an actual number, or
the number? It says it on the game. It has the stars as the wins.
Oh damn!
So
okay.
I
didn't even know.
I was like, oh my god, and it was like a cycle of because whatever, friendlies are friendlies, but you obviously don't want to lose that much. And I was thinking like, why can't I just win? And I had to completely recenter my it was such a tangible difference. Like I knew after I put it together that I just needed to get my confidence back and I couldn't let it shake me. Then I started doing well, and then I put you on your toes for a few games, and then I took the games. And then we did the best of fives. You beat me then, but they were all game fives.
Game fives. We did the beer finals where it's a best of. You start at winners finals and then we play grands, so it's really a best of 3 of best of 5.
Yeah, which I'm all about.
Yeah, we got a good 10 games in.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, can't be ashamed. You're obviously super good, so it's like whatever. It's just when you're put in that sunken place, kind of made me realize what I needed to, not what I needed to do, but that I needed to step it up. I needed to do something, and not my best day, but you were also hitting your shit. So it was exciting to be put in that because it's really been a while since I've really played anyone, but also since I've been beaten like that. Because it's just not the same experience as just practicing the game. It's not like it's much more valuable, I think, in the long term to have as many of those types of days as possible. And the fact that I was able to recover the amount I did, I think we ended. I got a glimpse. It was 19. No, it was 22 to 10.
Was it? I wasn't counting.
Yeah. No, it was on the.
I know. I didn't even look at that, to be honest. I guess from my perspective, so I've been really working on the Fox Ditto because I don't think I've been playing it too well recently. Ever since I barely beat Koopa Cav at the Smash Out Arcade, and I was like, I really need to step up this game. You know, I know I can play it well, but it's not consistent. You know, so I was I definitely came in with a lot of stuff to work on and stuff that I wanted to do because I got 3-0'd at Omega by Young Wild Lego.
Yeah, Wild's bad good though.
I mean, yeah, he went on a fucking tear. We'll talk about that later.
Right.
Probably has to be the shout out in my opinion. We'll think about it. But
we didn't even mention it.
Yeah, but we have to talk about Omega too. But yeah, so yeah, but I mean more about our friendly session. So I definitely came in with a lot of ideas. I think as I was talking with you, I think you just one is I think sometimes it's good to analyze, but I think also there are simple answers a lot of the time. I think players sometimes overcomplicate what they need to work on. They're sometimes players aren't looking at it they're looking at two specific things. Like, oh man, like it seems like he gets me and does this, and in this situation it's like that. And it's like in the Fox Citadel, like if you're just missing your edge guards and missing like your B&Bs, like bread and butter, right? Like it really makes a big difference. Like you just didn't edge guard me.
Yeah, no.
And like that just like made the difference when it was like last stock and it's like, oh well, I guess I'm coming back, and then you get off stage and then you just lose the stock.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely the next plateau for me is trying to find all the things like drill grabs is another situation. So you're saying you could buffer out of it?
Yeah, you can spot dodge buffer out of it if the drill's stale. So like it's only
Oh.
true like when you first do the drill
Interesting.
on your first stock. But if it's stale, and it depends on like it's a weird move because it depends on like what hit hits you, like you know like if the hit hits you like how low it hits you because it's a multi-hit move, so you don't really know.
Yo, I should start doing drill shuffle up air.
That to call out a spot dodge,
Yeah.
that's fucking nuts.
Isn't that crazy?
That would be fucking sick.
So I think so I'm trying to find the where I will improve that is true to who I am, right?
hmm
So that sounds kind of like a cop out, but what I mean is you
Yeah, elaborate a little
let's
more.
let's say you're a Falcon player. It's really easy to put it in this perspective because
Okay.
there's like pretty much 3 Falcons right now that
Yeah.
people watch.
And they're all different. Yeah, Wizzy, STJ, none.
Exactly. So, um, when we're watching Summit, it's kind of easy to see the differences. But these guys came up and they play the way they play, and None and S2J, especially when you compare them to Wizard, um, like you could talk all day about what's optimal, what works, and what you
Yeah.
should be doing. But these guys have had massive success playing the way they play, and then finding what they're doing wrong and correcting those one at a time.
hmm
And I think that is my path forward. So edge guarding, you said, I just need to focus on that and just hammer it out.
Yeah.
Make sure that's not a problem anymore.
I think what
I've done these with before. If the
and
level we're at,
we
yeah,
all have to get to where we play.
it just can't stop. It can't stop making improvements.
I think also a big thing is like differentiating what is like I was talking with this Jark Fox, but like knowing something can be a simple fix but not an easy fix. You get what I'm saying by that?
Right.
Like it's simple as in, oh yeah, if you hit your edge guards, you're gonna do a lot better. Like
Right.
that is a simple fix. Is it easy to do in the Fox Ditto? No. And so I think people overcomplicate that, like understanding that like something can be like a simple fix, but just you have to put in a lot of work just to get it to like up to par with all the rest of the people, you know?
Right. So what are the steps to like how do I work on edge guards?
So I think
Watch the top players and then
I think watch the top players. I think edgeguard theory. So like understanding. So like the way that edgeguarding sort of works now in my head, like the way I've had it reframed was that like really like edgeguards you should cover multiple things, you know, and then be able to react to it. So you should run through like 3, 4 patterns. Like if you watch hacks, he does like 3, 4 patterns, like three probably like max three edgeguard patterns, right?
Right.
He does grab ledge, he goes stay on ledge, or he does jump fake going to ledge, coming back up, and he just runs through those 3 patterns, but it covers multiple things, you know. And so like I think each edge guard, like I think that like unless you have a really tight read on someone, and then you can just like call them out with a shine spike, but it should cover a lot of options, you know.
Okay.
And it should so like for example, grabbing so like if they're underneath you, then it makes sense to grab ledge and then you can cover from there and then you react. But grabbing ledge gives you a lot of options if they go high, if they go low, and then it gives you time to react. And you can like come up with a bear, auto cancel it, and then move immediately afterwards, right?
Right.
Faking the ledge, going to ledge, baits out the side B, and then if they Firefox, then you have enough time if they go higher straight to cover that. Staying on ledge covers the side B, instant side B, and then from there you can see whether or not you think they go high or not, and you can go grab ledge, or you can just wait until they go high and then edge guard from there, or you can go out and shine spike too.
So you're saying it's pretty much like I'm thinking what comes to mind is a poker hand, right? So you get an ace 6 or whatever
Yeah.
the hand is. You should know ahead of time where's the math
What am I
on
looking
this.
for? What am I covering? And if it's like only covering one thing, like, oh, well, this, like in F smash, right?
Hmm.
Oh, F smash only covers if they instant side B or go straight at me. Like that's probably not a great edge guard because it's only covering two things, you know.
Right.
Versus like you same thing could be done with a bear in place, but the difference with an F smash and a bear in place is that then you can move afterwards and then you're fine.
Yeah, and then there's F Smash is a very interesting example. I've been fascinated by when it actually is good.
Yeah.
And I think it's when you're close to the ledge and slightly above it.
I think so Cody does this a lot. I think it also is good if you want to try calling them going to ledge.
Right.
So going to ledge because they'll come down and so you want to cover that
That's what I'm
space.
saying because it covers
Yeah.
forward and down.
But you brought up an interesting topic about gambling and poker.
Hmm.
And this is something I've been really thinking about lately is that um sort of I'm reframing my mind to be like melee is just about making good gambles all the time. In neutral, in edge guarding, and anything.
Hmm.
And the best players make the best bets. As in it's like playing poker, right? And you can making if you have two aces, it's probably solid, right? Double aces, right?
Right.
Then you're probably fine, and it's safe to make that bet and throw your money into it, right? But say you have like a 2-7, then like you probably wouldn't play that round, right? And so melee is very similar to that, where you have to make good bets consistently, and it's okay if some bets don't work out. That's the game. That's the name of the game.
Right.
But you have to understand what bets are you actually making, and what's actually the likelihood of it. And it's like different bets for different situations, right? You can think of it in edge guarding, like the way we did, right?
Hmm.
But you can think about it in neutral too. Like what's betting by like running forward and overshooting is a bet. But what makes it a good bet? Oh, they're in shield right now. What can they do? They can jump out, or they can wave dash back, or they can stay. So overshooting probably is great because it crosses up the shield, and it covers them dashing back, and it covers them. It covers the wave dash back. So what doesn't cover? It just doesn't cover them attacking straight out shield, which is unlikely. Like how many people attack straight out of shield?
Not a lot of people nair out of shield.
Yeah, and then also how many people, and it just doesn't cover full hop. But guess what? If they full hop and you run past them, it doesn't hurt you because
It
you're
kind of
still.
does. No, if they this is Cody's entire game plan.
Yeah.
Is full hop, let people overshoot, and then come down with back airs. Like
Well,
in the Fox Ditto, full hop wins a lot of the time.
but it depends on what then. But then you're thinking about move choice after the overshoot.
You
Overshooting
already
itself
lost.
isn't bad.
Overshooting and then if they dodge the full hop, you already lost. They've come down. They've hit you.
No, they wouldn't.
Are you sure?
Like they would have to full hop. They would have to full hop like ahead of time for you coming in. By that time, you can also wave dash back.
I don't
So
know. I full hop's a completely different beast
well,
altogether. You know.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, it only doesn't cover that, right?
Right. Right.
So it's a pretty good bet.
No,
And
I
then,
get I get what you're saying
yeah.
overall. I'm getting distracted by
Yeah.
the full hop thing.
Okay,
But
what I'm saying is, imagine if you just overshoot Shine. You
right.
can wave dash out, and you're out of the bear range. It's not like Fox's bear is great.
Right.
It's amazing, but it's not like a big hitbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like then you have to think about move choice. So you could be making the right bets and then choosing the wrong moves. Like overshoot grab, yeah, you'll get destroyed. And I have this problem in the Fox that is actually I try to punish with like a lot of grab, but if they full hop and come down with the bear or an up air, I'm dead.
Or fade back drill
Or
down
fade back
down
drill
tilt.
or anything, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the thing, but that's sort of like how I'm trying to like reframe my thinking of it. And that's like a neutral situation.
Right. No, I dig it. I think I want to go in with a little more purpose next time I play because my intention yesterday was just like, all right, how good can I play right now? Let's stretch these fingers out. Let's play the best I
Yeah.
can. Um, and next time, if it's with you, if it's whoever else, I want to go in a little more with an intention of what I want to work on because I don't do that too often. I mean, I do that when I'm in the groove and I'm able to like I compare it to when I write actually. Like whenever I take a break from writing and I come back to it, the first time is always just like getting back into understanding why I'm doing it, like what's going on, um, getting shit out of my head, and just remembering how to do it again.
Mm.
So I think with Melee, it's when I haven't played in a while, I'm just kind of happy to be there. I'm happy to be playing someone at my level who I can fucking practice with and you know
Yeah.
try my hardest against. And when it comes down to improvement at the end of the session, sometimes I'm a little like, okay, I didn't really do the best I could in terms of figuring out my problems. And it's good that we're talking about it now. I just need to carry that attitude with the next whoever I play next. Hopefully it's for an hour or so. Or,
Yeah, I think having takeaways from friendly sessions is like really underrated. Like
yeah,
you can play and it's good practice, and you can practice your tech, and you can practice your B&Bs, and you can practice your flow charts, and that's good. But I think learning to like know what you take away from it and then applying it to the next friendly is really what separates a lot of players, I think.
right.
Because if you're doing the same thing, you're not really learning. And friendly is the time where you have to like experiment and see if stuff works out, even if you're gonna lose a set for it, you know.
Right.
And I think, or like not a set for it, like just a friendly session, you know, because there's nothing on the line. But I think if you don't,
It's pride. There's
yeah,
always
it's
pride.
pride, it's pride. But if you don't like mix it up in friendlies, then you won't like know what to do in those situations. You know,
Right.
you won't know the other options you have, right?
I don't know what it is with me and friendlies. Sometimes I just can't. I can't bring it the same way. It's tournament day. It's not even like
You are a different person on in
I
tournament
don't
day.
get it, dude. I don't even try. I don't like not that I don't try. I don't like have a different mindset. It's just I think the act of being in a tournament and just that fact is like it makes me wake up
Mm.
and pull things out. And I don't want it to come across as like it's not sandbag. I'm trying my hardest in friendlies. You know what I mean? Like I was getting a little tight when I was
You
kept
get more
losing.
tight in friendlies.
I
I'm
know.
just wondering why.
I don't know. I have no idea. And I think it's like just I think it's like the amount of games that over time I'm like I don't know. I don't know why I can't stay in it
Mm.
for the same amount of time because it's gonna hurt me if I don't address this if I don't address the way I approach friendlies
Yeah.
I'm not gonna improve.
Mm-hmm.
It's straight up. I can't go into a friendly just wanting to just play. Like it needs to be more. It needs to be a middle ground. It needs to be something that I still enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but um, having it be a completely different experience than tournament, it's gonna hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't know what to do.
Do you okay? So my question is, so we're talking about like your frustration, right, from it, like you getting tight in friendlies. Do you know why you're losing a lot of the time when you're like in a friendly situation? Like tournament, I feel like it's easier to like pinpoint stuff, and it's like you have less games, so there's less to extrapolate. But friendlies is a lot. There's a lot of information overload,
Right.
and so like you know because in like a set like max you're playing 5 games and you can say like this and this happened and like then I got nervous and it's like really easy to pinpoint like where it is, but in friendlies it's like you don't know as much because you're just playing the game.
Yeah, I really don't.
And so do
I
you
didn't
my
know
question is,
why.
do you know why you're losing? Because I think that's a really big question actually.
Yesterday, I didn't know until I recentered myself, and I took it away from the game. I stopped trying to think of what in the game was happening, and I tried to think of what in my attitude and what like in my spirit is what I needed to work on, and that's when I started bringing it back, and then we started having those close games.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So that's what you focused on. Interesting.
yeah, not it was not a second of like game plan or strategy,
Okay.
not a moment.
Because that's interesting because I think you're saying the exact opposite of where I was going to, which is
I
funny
know
enough.
because we're way different in this regard.
We're
I
way
think.
the way I recenter myself is understanding where I'm losing, like what situations I'm losing at,
Right.
and then focusing on those. So like really taking away the emotions for me is like and going into this sort of zen place where I just like am seeing the game and I'm playing the game and I understand what's happening. And if I understand what's happening, I think I can come up with a plan.
Well,
And
yeah.
that's sort of what I'll ride or die on. Like that's where I'll fall on my sword.
I can't do that. Like you saw it, I turned to you and I wasn't getting like tight. I've gotten more tight
Yeah.
in other, but I like if you were a worse player, I'd be getting tight. But like I know myself enough to like, okay, if I'm losing, it's because they're sick. So I'm like, what's there to really be mad about besides like not I don't want to be someone who can't
Lose.
make it a competitive set. Like
Mm.
someone who I also don't want to be someone who can't take losses. But I mean, it's a whole navigation of emotions. But what I did to bring it back is I turned to you, I'm like, yo, I already won. You know what I mean? Like I said it out loud. I'm like, I kind of tricked myself into believing it.
Mm-hmm.
I said it doesn't matter. Like I already won.
Yeah, that was like I know. I wonder where he's going with this. That
Yeah.
was interesting. Yeah.
And then the next game, I almost beat you, barely lost, and then I think I won the next one, the one
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I wanted to keep beating you actually.
well,
I wanted you to say that, and I wanted to just like shove the dagger in like a little deeper in your heart.
and I, I wasn't gonna let it happen
I know.
because I was just getting.
It's like you know me. I don't pull punches.
That's good. No, that's the best time to. It's the only good practice is when you don't take it easy. But
Yeah.
all I had to do was like kind of just feel myself again and remember what this all even was, and then it became a real session at that point. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's very interesting the way my mind works and how I have to tap into that. Um, and I mean, when it really matters is tournament, right? So
Mm-hmm.
being able to replicate that strong attitude of
Mm-hmm.
like I can do it. This is when I'm gonna win. All this stuff. Um, I want to apply that to friendlies and tournaments both,
Mm.
but at all times. Now it does. I don't want to have to ramp up into that. And also, if I were in your position, I feel like I would be letting the other person win.
Mm. You wouldn't try to. You wouldn't try to end it.
I wouldn't. No, but
Yeah.
here's the weird thing. Here's the thing. So when you look at it as like two hypotheticals, right?
Okay.
So let's take it away from yesterday. Let's say um, the skill level difference was a little more drastic.
Okay.
Let's say you are Slox's level,
Okay.
right? So I've taken one game off Slox in my
I
whole
am
career.
Slox's level, by the way.
I know. So see, that's the thing. You lied to yourself. It's good. So let's say I'm playing Slox, and
Yeah.
he's just whooping me right in
Yeah.
friendlies, just destroying me over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I can keep up in a sense. Like I'm not a bad player, but if he were to beat me for an hour straight, and we were for some reason committed to 2 hours of playing, there's a world where I would be dejected and not want to play with the same intensity. But if it's kind of like I'm thinking. So let me finish first before. So the other hypothetical is he lets me take a game or two
Yeah.
in that span, and that kind of gives me life to try my hardest for the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking is like, you know how vampires don't kill their prey.
Yeah.
So
It,
it's
yeah.
incredibly manipulative, but I'm wondering if you've ever been in the situation of playing someone and you realize that they're getting a little bit despirited and their play is getting worse and worse and you're just thrashing them and it's becoming less and less fun. So you kind of throw them a bone
Mm,
for the sake of the session.
nah, I wouldn't do that. I would get bored. So I think like what happens for me is that like if they're doing the same shit and they're not like learning from it, like I'll get really bored and I'll try to like mix it up and try to like the way I'll view it is like I'll be like, all right, they're not changing shit. Like, all right, I already practiced this, so like let me try to win another way. And then that's normally when like they'll take the game, but that's because I'm just trying to make the friendly session better for myself. So I'm like, all
So,
right, like
okay.
I'm done winning. I'm done. Like, so for a great example is like just Jason. He's a very solid player. But he takes his game plan at the start is like you have to like beat it out of him a lot, right? But he's a little like he like does a lot of the same things, right? He like overshoots grab, overshoots dash tech. So you have to just like kind of be at a spacing where you're out of it, right?
How often do you drill?
Yeah, I know, a lot. But then if he kept on doing that, he switches it up now. But like before, like if he just kept on doing that, like hypothetically, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he kept on doing that, and I would be like, all right, like I'm kind of done with this. I wouldn't like throw him a bone, especially if he was frustrated, because I think I want to force the player to either just say, I want to force the player either to say like, okay, I'm done playing, and I want them to like just put down the controller,
Wow.
or or I want to like then be like, okay, I'm done winning this way. I'm done winning with like undershot drills. Like let me try to go aggressive on him, and I know he's gonna come at me, so I have to play faster. I have to play with shield. I have to play with different ideas. I have to dash dance more. Like let me use the platforms a little more
I
now.
like that better than what I was
And
going for.
and so like that's sort of how I see friendlies.
Right.
And like a lot of time, like when I play, like especially like Big Kid, like he gets really frustrated when we play actually, and I'm like, sometimes even I'm like my hands are getting tired, like unless like I really think like my hands are getting tired and my play's getting sloppy because of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if he keeps on getting mad, I kind of want like the way I'm like is like yeah, I just want to keep playing until you say you need a break.
Wow.
Like I want to like break you that much, and that's sort of like what I want to do. And like I've really pissed off Big Kid before. Like there are times where in our last session he like just like messaged. I left. I'm like, yo, good games. And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, all right, like like he didn't even want to talk about the friendly section. He was bad, and he's like, and he didn't. But he was like, he just like sent me a message like, yo, sorry, I was tight.
Yeah. No,
like
that's how
I
it goes.
made him apologize,
No,
and like that's what I want.
that's literally how it goes.
That's
But
why when you're like when you said I already won, I was like fuck, I can't believe I lost. I'm happy I won the game right after that, but I wanted to go on another streak and be like, nah, that's not enough.
nah, not with me. I'm too good for that shit.
Yeah.
And I knew I was, every friendly session, I think if you give it the time to kind of develop, and I think what some people do is they get out of their mains too quickly, and you don't even have secondaries, so it's
No,
like,
I have tertiaries.
yeah, like it skips a complete row. But I think what a lot of players will do is, um, well, there's two types of players in this bad hypothetical. The player who wants to um, stop and play secondaries quickly, and
Mm-hmm.
um, then there's the other player who just kind of agrees and lets it happen.
Yeah.
So I think that that's kind of a disservice to both people, in that if you were ever playing,
Yeah, I hate when people do that shit.
if you're ever playing and you feel like you're losing a lot, or you feel what like there's ups and downs to a whole friendly session, you shouldn't only be put in good spirits if you're getting wins. You can't do that. Like obviously you should want to win, but if I lost 6 in a row, I was fine. I lost 10 in a row, I was fine. Well, it was getting in the deep double digits. I'm like something needs to change. But the point was like I'm not here to get a good win record on Wasabi. That's not why I'm excited to play you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is I think what's kept me in this game for so long, and has kept me going to tournaments like consistently, and going to just staying in the scene, and staying playing with people and making really good friendships, is that I think I do have my priorities in a good place. And when I come up against someone like you, when we play and you have this attitude of I'm gonna end him, and like I'm not letting any of this up, that if I were to give in to that anger, it would have been over. I would have it was done. It would have been done. But I'm proud of how I'm able to maneuver all the complicated emotions, and it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
It does take a
of
lot of time.
Time to get to the point, and I'm like not even halfway there, but compared to someone in their first or second year, it's going to be really discouraging sometimes when you go to someone's place and you feel embarrassed because you just keep losing to this person. Like if you go to a PR player's fest
actually,
for the first time.
I have a great example of this.
Yeah.
So we're talking about like the reverse, like so like this. We were talking about like me on the winning side, but what do I do on the losing side, right?
Mhm.
Like so I was playing friendlies in Omega, and I was actually getting outclassed by Jmook. Like he was playing in a way.
He's insane.
He is good. He's good, but he was playing in a way that I wasn't familiar with. Sheik is like the least laziest Sheik I play. Like they don't go for cheap shit. Like you know he is plays really honestly. He hits his reactions. He hits his B&B. He mixes it up. I'm on like he like I think sometimes I full hop and on reaction he down tilts because he knows that the hitbox, the down tilt, is above the hurt box, and then times it to anti-air me
With down tilt.
with down tilt, and that is nuts. That is nuts. That he knew one that it's disjointed. Like that means he's like knowledgeable. He knows the game. I mean, love the kid. And then, but then to have the reactions and timing and like recognition of a situation like that is crazy.
Yeah.
And then also to be able to recognize it hits and then react with a fair afterwards. I mean, it's a pretty free fair, but still, like it's a really incredible sequence. But we were playing, and I'm not used to him play. Like I'm not used to Sheik's playing like that. I'm used to Sheik's overshooting grabs, overshooting dash attacks, or they'll like kind of stay on the platform, shield drop, throw needles and shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of lazy because Sheik is a very good character that you can get away with that. I'm not saying that's a bad gameplay. I'm just saying that like there's a just like with Fox, there's a lazy way to play him and there's a really hard way to play him,
For
right?
sure, yeah.
And that's what separates people's ceilings and floors and stuff like that. With Jmook, so I was playing, I was getting really outclassed, and for me, that's when like I was getting frustrated in terms of like, oh man, like I really want to take the game and stuff like that, but like I think I remind myself like, look, this is friendlies, like just don't try to like take the game and like win, like just try to figure it out, like actually try to find an answer to this, and like
right.
and so like I sort of removed myself from the situation. Also, like when I feel like I want to take a game, I'm just throwing out moves like an idiot, and then I'm not playing neutral. I'm not playing the game, and that's what I remind myself. I'm like, look, are you like trying to win this game? Like, are you actually watching the screen? Like, just look at the fucking screen and look at the situation. Why are you naring after you teched in place? Like, why are you running back into him for no reason? Like,
right.
Like, what's the point? Has he shown you that he's running in? No, and like. So for me, it's like removing myself and like just remember to look at the screen,
right?
And then from there figure it out. And like the way I like do it, like you do it very differently, so I can't speak for you in terms of like you have to like for me it's let's find answers, let's find solutions. So like first is like understanding like okay, I'm doing this and he's doing that and it's losing. Why is it losing? And then after that you just like an experiment. You try different things out. You try to avoid it. You ask questions like, do I have to play that situation? Like, do I have to play it or can I ignore it? A great situation for that is Sheik AC Fair. Do I have to contest that? No, I don't. Let's just play around it. Like, or Marth at ledge, right? I play Joe Young a lot because he's my roommate, and like when I'm losing to him a lot, I'm in the corner and I'm getting back thrown, down tilted, the usual B&B, stuff from Marth. And then I'm just like, all right, well, this is frustrating. This is really annoying, but like, do I need to play there? And I'm like, no, I don't. All right, so then let's not play there. I'm winning. I'm winning from the center. Let's forget that situation. Or is it a situation where it's like, okay, I actually do need to play this situation. What do I do from here?
Right.
And I think that's how I see it, and that's what keeps
the microphone fell.
Oh no, that's sort of what keeps me going in like a losing session if I'm playing someone like that. Like hacks, I played hacks for like an hour at Omega, and I was just trying to see how he plays neutral, see what spacing works, and knowing that it might not work, but there isn't a chance in hell that I would have a chance to like. Well, for the record, I have beaten hacks, but there isn't.
What stage though?
What do you mean? What stage?
When he was, he's had stages.
This was like well off into the box season. He was winning Nebs already.
Okay, fine. You got so defensive.
Yeah, I know, because it's okay. It wasn't the time when he was losing to every single Peach and maybe was winning every Nebs. This was like hacks like already with the box.
Okay, all right. Shit.
I'm just saying.
Jesus Christ. Cut my head off there.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
But there isn't a hell in chance I have like that I can beat hacks right now if I didn't try if I just kept on doing the same thing or if I got frustrated.
Right.
So that was intel. Like I need to know how to play against hacks because in tournament I'm gonna try to win. You know.
Right.
And if I didn't know if I didn't get that hour friendlies where I was getting beat up and edge guarded and like 3 stock, 4 stock, occasional 2 stocks, you know,
Need it.
I needed it, because that's free. It's free time to get intel to change how you play for when we actually meet in bracket,
Right.
And so that's sort of how I see it, like on the losing side.
And so this is kind of like going into a universal way of anyone improving.
Yeah.
And it's so simple, and it's like I'm not even going to spend too much time on it because it's very obvious. But like playing good players and losing to good players, I guess what we're really talking about is like how to lose,
Yeah.
right?
That's what I asked you. I mean,
right. So when let's say we were newer players and going to tournaments and finding out that the top people in your PR are there.
Yeah.
I think the real metagame and the real way people get better is forcing those games to happen and getting into that friendly setup or money matching these top players or entering as many tournaments as possible. You have to get that experience and you have to lose as much as possible. And for a while I think I still am. I'm happy to lose. I'm happy to find people that just beat the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way to, if every melee player is kind of like a Saiyan in that sense. Like when you lose and when you get destroyed and you come back and you train and all that, like that's the only way to really actually power up. And so, there's a lot to be grateful for, but there's a lot to fear and there's a lot to get over emotionally. That since we're all like 20-something-year-old people or younger, it seems like a pretty common problem that people have in the scene is either with anger or with depression or whatever the loss comes from. I mean, I get it if you're at a major, right? Like losing at majors or tournament that you really travel and spend money to get to and all that stuff. I think those are the hardest to really learn from. And that's where I have the advantage in terms of my strategy is like emotionally.
Yeah.
That like majors are more of an emotional test than technical tests in a lot of senses. And so I think that's why I've had the kind of skewed, like not like I've killed it at majors, but I tend to do well because for whatever reason I'm more inclined to handle that type of pressure rather than strict gameplay.
Strict gameplay, yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, yeah, the way you think and the way you talk, it's not a very strict gameplay way, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to just like kind of close off on that is also just like I was talking with Hacks about this. Like I think in the car, I think he was talking to someone else about it, but I was just listening in on it, and I think he was just like, yeah, dude, like. Yeah, I'm not gonna do my Hacks impression. It's too early in the morning. He's like, yeah, dude, like no one's lost more than me.
No one's what?
Lost more than me.
Has lost. Oh yeah.
And like I think that's the thing. Like you just have to put in the time losing, and it's not that you're not. It's not being okay with losing. None of these guys, none of us are okay with losing.
Yeah.
But it's understanding that it's inevitable that you will lose at some point, and you just have to go from there. Like it's just like you don't. I think the thing for my observation of you of when you flip the switch and you trick yourself, you just stop trying not to lose. That's the only difference. You accepted it. You're like, right. I could lose, and that's the big thing. Is that like trying not to lose, like not caring about losing, and this makes a big difference. And it's not like not caring, but it's just accepting that like you'll lose,
Right.
And that just clears up so much like mental space of just trying not to lose.
Right. Like Melee is not a battle royale game. You can't just hide in the corner
Yeah.
until all your opponents die. Um, you have to. It's so obviously
It
nuanced.
forces you to engage.
Yeah, and a lot of times the first instinct of fear is to just play your corner game and then what? Like there's not even a secondary thought. And I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah.
When I was playing with fear for like 5 games straight, um, it was just like, okay, if I full hop over here, then it's not gonna hit me. But there was zero thought
Yeah.
of where am I getting my openings, where actually that's just it. Where am I getting my openings? I didn't even go past that. And so um, it's a really important concept of kind of letting go of that and just playing your heart out um, and finding another way to. Are you looking up boxing quotes?
I am. Just continue talking. It's relevant.
Well, I was almost done. You kind of needed to swoop in there, and you missed your opportunity. And then I saw that you're looking up boxing quotes. What the fuck?
All right. So I love, how much I love Mike Tyson and mainly Customato, right? Because he's like one of the greatest sports coaches for boxing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this quote really makes a lot of sense when you're talking about fear, about like that full hopping and being like, okay, he won't get hit you, he won't hit me here, right?
Right.
And it's sort of this idea where if you're focused on not trying to get hit, like you're not playing the game. Like when you're like that, are you looking at the screen? Like are you playing the game in front of you? Like saying I think he's gonna run in and do this, so let me dodge it and then have a plan after is different from being like, let me just like dodge this and
Right.
then.
Right.
And so this sort of fear idea, you know, I haven't quoted something in a while, but this is just makes a lot of sense.
This is all a quote, by the way.
Yeah, I hate you. Oh my god, end the show. So Customato says a man who's thinking or worried about getting hit is not going to have a good sense of anticipation. He will, in fact, get hit.
Yeah.
And that sounds exactly like your full hopping example.
Right. It's almost self-fulfilling prophecy in a sense.
Yeah.
There's a better word for it, but visualization coming true or whatever it may be. If you're just thinking, "Oh God, I hope he doesn't, grab me," you're gonna get grabbed.
Because you don't have your mind's not in the game. That's the thing. You're not watching the game when you're thinking about that. And what I mean by that is like you're not watching the opponent. You're not watching what he's doing. Like if he's actually trying to hit you, he could be dash dancing in the corner too, and you could be just like, oh man, I don't know. I hope I don't get hit. You know. But like that's what it means by like to have a good sense because your senses are blocked by you just trying not to get hit.
Yeah, and it's really like just 1 degree more, and you're playing defensively. Like not playing scared and playing defensively are two drastically different things.
Very different, yeah.
But there are almost a hairline difference.
Yeah.
It's just
I
instead
wouldn't
of
even say defensive because I think that like generalizes too much.
well,
Let's use the word.
we're generalizing.
Yeah.
Playing with fear is generalizing. I'm
Well,
saying
let's say risk averse, playing like safe,
sure,
right? Yeah,
sure.
however we want to say. It. Fine, I'm nitpicking,
But
it matters.
I'm saying like playing risk averse is not necessarily bad.
Yeah.
Like obviously you can't do it if you're not familiar with it. You need to have a game like Kaon, for instance. You could do the same exact inputs as Kaon, but be playing with fear. But Kaon is actually doing his best game plan because he's not thinking I don't want to get hit. He's thinking how can I manipulate this person to do what I want him to do, and then I get a kill out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's thinking like his whole game plan is centered around that opportunity, and it's filled with logic and practice and everything. But just doing those full hops without all that background, without all that training, and you know, uh, theory crafting and all that, it's garbage.
Yeah.
It is absolute trash way to play. And so it's just funny that it feels universal that when people play with fear, they just end up doing like Falcons might nair in place, Peaches down smash, Puffs will just like lay into like do a billion back airs or grab ledge.
Yeah.
Like It's funny how each character kind of has foxes or falcos will full hop also,
Yeah.
or just like laser in place over and over.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to me how bad um, playing with fear is, but then you could also look at top players that have very similar strategies. Like I look at Zanguzen, who I haven't seen in a while, but
Yeah.
um, he would shoot a billion lasers,
Yeah.
but it's not playing with fear. It's very deliberate.
Yeah.
Um,
Because he's watching the game. He's in the game,
right.
and he's not. It's not a perception that's like in your mind, and I think
Mhm.
that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also like knowing, again, like another thing is like just understanding your game plan. Like I don't think you want to deviate from your game plan if it's not working. You want to keep playing your game plan if you think it's the right one, and then assess what's wrong with it.
Yeah, you could take out.
Like I
It's
think
like
people,
Jenga.
yeah,
You have to take out the blocks that aren't supporting it.
exactly. And I think the problem is that a lot of players like they're like, oh man, like this isn't working, and like let me just try to cheese in. Let me just try to like do some quick stuff to get the win and stuff like that. But it's like, why are you changing your game plan in friendlies? Like you should stick to the same game plan.
Right.
Say this isn't working. Let me shift that part about it, and that's how you grow. Is that you just build on your game plan. You remove what's not needed, and it's like just trimming the fat.
Right. Especially if your game plan is backed up with real
Experience and knowledge.
exactly. You can't disregard it because you feel in the moment it's not working. And a lot of times it's not even you don't know like that you still were right when you theory crafted this game plan. But a lot of times people will. I see it against mostly floaties because people just fall apart against Peaches, and it's so
Yeah.
funny.
It's tough. Peach is a great character
right, but
for
Peach,
that reason.
yeah, exactly. Like it's very easy to get tilted, but missing an input should not shake your entire foundation and your entire strategy.
Yeah.
Um,
Missing the grab and getting down smashed.
right.
Like shouldn't change.
This game's hard. Like their game plan is to find holes in your game plan.
Yeah.
But if you throw yours out, all of a sudden theirs becomes okay. They're shaky. They don't know what they're doing anymore. Their decisions are strange. Let me, as Peach, let me just stay more firm and become an immovable object, and then it's game over.
Yeah.
You know. So, um, it's just fascinating to me how often that happens. I notice it in the matchups I'm good at, but I do it all the same in the matchups I'm not as comfortable with, and I think that's kind of what it comes down to is I just don't have a game plan against Fox.
Yeah.
I don't have one. And the more the more Fox Dittos I play, hopefully I could start building one. The other thing about the Fox Ditto is it's kind of hard to have a generalized game. You need to have a player specific game plan because obviously Fox can do whatever he wants. I think the game plan is more of getting flowcharts for combos. That's the only thing you could really prepare, and if you don't know the type of like, you could have a game plan if you watch their VODs, but it's player specific. I'm actually pretty firm on that belief. And so my game plan against you from now on is going to be how can I dish out as many unfamiliar things as possible until I get a confidence advantage. That's going to be my game plan against you from now on.
Oh my god.
Because
That's always been your game plan.
yeah, but it's going to actually be in the forefront of my mind.
Yeah.
And how can I stay confident as often as possible? Like, just play that game. Which will be
that makes sense. Like I think in the top level, I think I agree with it, but then I think also, like I think it's good. Like I don't get me wrong, but I think we're missing the easy answer also.
Which is what
You just like again, there's just simple fixes like hitting your edge guards and hitting your punishes. You're reducing the amount and it's not easy. No one said it was easy, but it's simple as in.
Well,
it's
those
just
are
there.
executions. I'm ignoring those for now
alright.
in this conversation
Yeah.
at least. You're absolutely right.
Like I'm just saying
that's gonna level me up first.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is we're not at a level where that isn't a problem still.
Right.
And I think people have to recognize that. Like you can think about game plans and you can like think about game plans. You can think about player specific ones and stuff like that. But if you're just missing your punishes, missing your reactions, missing your edge guards, like, fuck, work on those.
Right. Well, here's the thing: is like I'm gonna allow myself to be fine at a lot of things
No, I know.
and improve, and work on that stuff.
No,
When it
I
comes to
agree.
tournament,
I think it's just important to mention. That's all.
right?
That's all I'm
For
saying.
sure, for sure, and that should be the first and foremost. That's the long tail of this
Mhm.
conversation, though. But a game plan and a strategy, that's a short term thing you come up with
Yeah.
a week or so before a major. You know what I mean? Like you're thinking, oh shit, I'm playing
So and so.
Doom from Connecticut, the best peach player in the world.
Yeah.
How am I going to approach this, and what's going to be my game plan for this set? Because you don't a 2 week span is not really enough time to iron out
Yeah.
every inconsistency in your play, and then those short term strategies are what's really at risk
Mhm.
once you start getting tilted, or once you lose game one 3 stocks to nothing, or
Yeah, of
whatever
course.
it is. Those are the things that really falter.
Yeah.
But
That's why,
we
like,
need to trust ourselves to
yeah.
come up with a good idea before the
And
tournament.
trusting your game plan is big because, like, I remember I was playing Wild and I like SD'd and then I lost another stock really quick in like a dumb way, like game one,
Hmm.
and I just threw my game plan out and I just didn't have anything. I got 3-0'd.
Yeah.
So like it was rough, and I was like not mad because I lost. I was just mad because I wasn't disciplined enough to ride or die to like just play the game plan because I learned nothing,
Right.
and that was the most frustrating part.
Yeah.
And then I think also like, yeah, I agree. I agree. Actually, the more you talk about it, I realize I do that at every friendly session. Like, you don't think I sat down and was like, all right, like what am I playing against JD? Like I did that.
Right.
Like I do that before friendly. Like for example, if I'm like, okay, I'm having a festive beer man's, okay, who's coming over beer man? He's like, well, I'm playing. Big Kid's playing. Panos is coming. All right, that day I'm probably just watching Fox Falcon, or I mean Fox Falcon, Fox Puff,
Right.
and I'm coming in being like, okay, for Panos I want to try this out, and with Big Kid I want to try that out.
Yeah.
And the fact that you prep for a friendly session goes a long way, because you're not coming in. It's like you're not coming in blank. You're not coming in and then you have to take an hour to figure shit out and stuff like that. You're coming in and being like, okay, let me do this, and then seeing what works and doesn't work, and then leaving with knowing what works and doesn't work too.
Right.
And if I'm really stumped, honestly, this is something I haven't mentioned before, and I don't know how many people actually notice this, that I do this in friendly sessions, but uh, you know that like if we're doing a rotation, right, best of 3 rotation, and I'm like getting whopped by someone, right?
Yeah.
You know that like on my turn off, I'll just pull up my phone and watch some of that matchup and just try to figure out an answer.
That's so
Like no one noticed this
fiendish.
because they're playing.
That's hilarious.
No one notices this, but I'm not watching like me and Panos and you. We had that 3-person round robin,
It's so optimal.
and like say if like Panos was like just whipping my ass, which he does once in a while, like like and you're playing him, and I'm just on the couch. I would like 9 out of 10 times pull up my phone, watch some Fox Falcon. I'm like, okay, he's beating me with, let's see, what is he beating me with? He's beating me with run. He runs away and then he does the stomp back to catch me running in, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, who's the fox that does that really well? Okay, Mango. Mango's really good at that. And then, okay, who does that a lot? Wizzy. Okay, I'm watching Mango Wizzy for a bit. And then while you guys are playing, I'm watching Mango and Wizzy and looking at that situation. Because it's right there. Like, it's so obvious. Like, okay, I'm losing in this situation. What do I do? Right? And I'm like, I don't expect myself to know the answer. But I'm going to try to find the answer.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like, I don't think a lot of people actually notice that in our friendly sessions.
I sure don't. I just would never do that myself. It's so interesting. I'm learning so much about our differences, and it's really cool. Like it's great.
Yeah.
But we approach this so drastically different. Um, and I think I'm gonna try to borrow a little bit of your juices for this because, again, I'm trying to get more out of my friendly sessions.
Yeah.
And obviously, it takes if you practice the good things. This isn't going to be an overnight change, but if I find those tactics and apply them as soon as possible, that's going to be huge in leveling up my baseline.
Yeah.
Um,
Because those are simple things that you can do to just maximize your practice sessions, you know?
Yeah.
And you can do this in net play. Like in net play, like on FM Discord, you could be like, okay, I'm hitting up Ghetto War Machine. Like, let me just watch how he plays a little bit, watch maybe some Fox videos, and like come up with a plan. And it's like not just so you can win, but also the practice of coming up with a plan
Yeah.
allows you to do, like, we didn't talk about this, but the practice of you coming up with a plan lets you come up with a plan when you're in tournament.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like you can be in the middle of a set and change it up and be like, okay, I just need to do this now, and then suddenly you turn the tides and win 3-1. You know, that happens a lot.
yeah,
But
you need to understand what goes into, because right now I'm very inexperienced in this, so this is something I'm going to start going through, is how do I come up with these game plans, and how do I
yeah,
prep myself for how I'm going to play.
mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see how that journey goes.
Yeah.
But it makes a lot of sense that it's a skill like anything else, and it takes a bit of time to go through that process of like conception, play, then feedback, and then the app, like, okay, how did that all go, and then you're back to the next the next friendly session, the next tournament, whatever it is. There's a lot of learning involved, so it's not like just making a game plan is going to solve your problems, but it's
You
a
have to
big
practice
part.
it.
Yeah, it's a big part of the
You
formula.
can't have good game plans if you don't practice having shitty ones.
Right.
You know? And remember what I asked you when we first started this conversation is, hey JD, do you know why you're losing?
Nope.
And like that's a great answer.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. So that's where you start. Like it's not that hard, you know? Like
Yeah.
like do you know why you're losing? You don't. Okay, well great. Let me record some matches and try to figure that out.
Yeah.
Once I know why I'm losing, oh great, now I know why. What do I do about it? Do I have answers? No. Okay, let me just like look at top players. Okay, now I have answers. Like, is it working with my friends?
I didn't realize how much of a disadvantage I was putting myself in.
Yeah, you didn't come prepared. You didn't do your homework.
I'm never gonna do homework for a friendly session ever.
I'm just joking about homework. I like doing this.
You are not joking about homework because you do your homework. So this is not a joke for you. You're like, I get to play just Jason. How do I convert off of sheet? No, whatever. No, that doesn't matter. But I will definitely be trying to. I'm probably just gonna start doing it in game. Like, as soon as the first game's over in friendly sessions, I'm gonna say, okay, that whatever that was, I'm gonna let that be.
Yeah.
Like shaking the rust off, getting into it.
Yeah. Once you get warmed up, you have to get a few games to warm up.
It's not gonna
we
take
play
me.
Fox.
It's not gonna take me 8.
Yeah.
It's not gonna take me.
I like
13.
to give 4 or 5, but yeah.
But it shouldn't be a long process of getting into improvement mode. Yeah, I think that's where I'm trying to be at next time we play.
Yeah. Actually, fun fact, because you joked about my homework doing.
Yeah.
So you messaged me about this when I beat Heartstrings at Omega. You were hype about it.
Didn't I just say like fuck yeah, dude, no caps or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But do you know that we played on Monday night, and he was whooping my ass?
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't know what to do. He was playing in this very like, he was walling me out. He was like hitting his reactions, and I was like really heavily missing my edge guards and punishes also.
Okay.
You know, I invited just Jason for a one-on-one sesh Wednesday.
Oh my god.
And we grinded the matchup out.
Did you know he was in your
for like
pools or
4
something?
hours? No.
Okay.
I was just mad. I was just like mad that I like didn't take away as much from his session. And so I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna see Omar at the beer dojo because he goes to the beer dojo. So like I want to be ready for the next time we play friendlies. I didn't know we were gonna play in bracket.
Right.
But I grinded the matchup out for 4 and 5 hours with Jason, and like specifically tackled the stuff that I thought I was weak against Omar with him. And then I end up playing Omar's Heartstrings. I end up playing Heartstrings in bracket to make it out to top 32 for Omega, and I won because like of everything I worked on Wednesday, because I was ready to play him. Funny enough, the next time I didn't say in bracket. I just said the next time I play Omar, the next time I'm playing Heartstrings, I'm gonna be ready.
There's no more perfect example than that. It's a 1 week span.
It's a 1 week stab. I fed Jason too. He was a homie because he really helped me with it.
You fed him?
What?
What'd you say?
No, I thanked him.
Oh, thanked him. Oh yeah, I thought you said I fed him.
No, because it was like he took game 2, but game 3 and 1 and 3 that I won, it was 3 stocks, 2 stocks, and that's clearly like I did my homework.
Yeah. Well, it's great, man.
Yeah.
I think I might. I mean, I was never good at doing homework in high school, so
Yeah.
I probably still won't. Do you want to wrap it up with do a shout out? Who should we
Yeah,
shout out?
I think okay. So there's a few people like
Don't
let's
just
just run
shout-
through a mega bracket.
Don't
You
just
know,
shout out the people who beat you.
That's a dick. Fucking A.
Wild, he beat me.
No, Wild's sick. Okay, Wild 3-0 is me, and then 3-0 Lint.
No, that's wild.
That is
That's crazy.
and then he lost a heartbreaker to Aklo game 5.
Oh, Eckler's so good.
So I think there's that, but I also think, I mean, we've always known how good Wild is. You just had to become a Fortnite streamer to get good.
I know. I don't know what that.
I lost to a Fortnite streamer.
Maybe he took expectations off himself.
I mean, that's always been Wild's thing, though.
Yeah.
So really big shout outs to him. But I think also Nico for being Professor Pro was amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, really, honestly, yeah. I mean, that's another big win for the belt. Like for someone like Nico, who's really, really close to crossing that line to top 100. Professor Pro and tie this season. That's pretty solid so far for half a year gone.
That is really good foundation going into the summer.
Yeah.
Having those regional because was Ty at a major.
Ty was at Genesis.
Then there you go. I think that's a really good start.
It's a solid start to the season.
Well, it's on pace. I think if he keeps this pace going, and picks up 2 or 3 more of these types of wins, because Professor Pro's top 50, right? Like he's really, really up there.
Yeah.
So these are important wins for Nico for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, and it was so sweet, seeing his tweet after where he sort of has this imposter syndrome where he doesn't really think and we had a long talk because we rode the train back together,
right?
And I won't say too much because it's really Nico. I'm sure he'll talk about it and stuff like that. It's his thing to talk about, but he was just telling me about how he feels like he's a good player now, and he's really happy with the gameplay that he's been playing. He's been playing every day because ever since he moved to the Smash House, and it's just really nice because I think a lot of people don't give themselves the credit that they deserve.
Yeah,
and I think we're starting to see that, and I'm really happy for him because of it. Because he is a really incredible player, but I think he said it best where it was people tell me I'm good, but for the longest time I didn't think that.
Well,
and I think that goes a long way.
It makes sense for his position too, and it's just he's been playing and been good for so long, but has for just circumstantially not cracked
the top 100.
That plateau. But he's been at that level for 3 years, and everyone in the region knows it. It's just a matter of sneaking in those results. And, so it's.
But he is also playing the best melee he's ever had.
He hasn't. Yeah.
You should see Nico now. It's ridiculous. He was making me tight. Last time.
I gotta play him in tournament again.
Yeah. But So I got shouts out to him. Baby shouts for Fuego. Fuego had a sick run.
Give it 60-40. Look,
he also beat Cypher Phoenix in pools.
Right, he'll beat her Wild.
Oh
my god. Okay, that's equal.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's 3 different ways. No, because I don't know. Ryby had the better tournament, but he's also ranked higher. So it's
yeah, but
relatively,
Cypher Phoenix was crazy.
2-0'd
Cypher, 3-0'd me, and 3-0'd Lynn. He just didn't. He fucked everyone up.
Wild's crazy.
Fuego's crazy. And
shout out to both of them. How about that?
Yeah, shout out to them. That's what I'm saying. Shout out to both of
them. Word. We should have them both on.
Yeah, I know. This was sick, dude. We're on my bed. Had the AC on.
Yeah, I wish this was
some clouds. This has been super fun.
I wish this was more consistent. That'd be cool if we lived together and we could do this.
Yeah, I know, right?
But that's never gonna happen.
We'll kill Joe, and then you can move in.
Just kill him? Just evict him?
No.
Shit.
I don't want to do him dirty like that. I want to put him out of his misery. It's a mercy kill. Okay.
What's a life worth living if he can't live with you?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
None.
So we'll kill Joe Young. No. There's a real shortage of melee talent out there. We can't be killing some of the.
How about Joe Young, who's in Brooklyn, Kumite? Come check it out. Come check it out in 2 weeks now.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be lit.
Yeah, because we're recording this on a Sunday, it's in 2 weeks.
So next week we'll probably really focus on that one.
Yeah, next week we'll focus on that. And so the reason why I'm bringing it up, one is because I can finally announce the 8th player. It's J-Mook.
Hell yeah.
He's gonna be fucking sick. So I'm super excited, really happy he could make it. And then
good thing we didn't announce it before.
I know, that's why. I know.
Perfect.
I'm good at planning, guys. And then last thing is the reason why I'm bringing this up is that we're gonna do a special. We're probably gonna do one for us, like 1 week, week that for us that we usually do. But we're also gonna do a special pre-show, for Brooklyn Kumite too. So as you know, JD's gonna be on the mic. That's why he's not a player.
What?
And then we're gonna have two great people who know all the players, talk about it with us in a round table. So it's gonna be you, me, Justin, aka Dark Gen X, and Stock. So
What a good squad.
yeah, it's gonna be a 6 squad. We're gonna do a pre-show. We're gonna preview all the players, look at their result history, see what interesting head-to-heads will be good, and just like talk about them, talk about their stories. I know you're working on some writing pieces too, just to get like a little more lore into the event. So it's gonna be sick. Tune in. Obviously for tune in on YouTube once we have that done recording. It's not gonna be a live show, but we just want to let all you guys know, all you listeners know. All right.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's a wrap.
I'm not gonna say bye to you this time. We just
Yeah, I know. I'm just hanging up.
walk out.
Or I'm just stopping the recording.
Okay.
How do I stop recording? Oh,
He's so new to this.
press stop recording. All right. Cool. Wait, it's not done.